in the homework for tomorrow, number 6, 7, 10, 11, and 12 give you a little bit different of a problem than what we have dealt with before. So for example, on number 6, let's take a look at that one. They give me the first term. Okay, so I've got 1, and they give me the third term. All right, so the first term they give me is 16, and then the third term is given as a 4. Now, usually they give you the first 2 terms, or they give you consecutive terms, but here they've got it spaced out. So I'm still going to find my R, and I'm going to take this term and divide it by its previous. Now I know there's a gap, but we're still going to do it. So we're going to say 4 divided by 16. But I need to figure out how many R's I'm going to need. So from here to here, I would need to multiply by an R. Okay, that's why usually it's an R to the first. Okay, but then I would also have to multiply that number by an R as well. So how many R's do I need? I would need 2 R's. So now if I wanted to solve that, we're going to square root. So that way this cancels and that cancels. A square root cancels out with a square. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 16 is 4, and we're going to reduce that down to a half. So then when it says write your explicit rule, okay, we're going to abbreviate that. I'm going to say f of n equals my first term, 16, times my r to the n minus 1 for n's greater than or equal to 1. All right, let's look at another example. Write the explicit rule, that should say given. The second term is 4 and the sixth term is 20. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the second term is 4. This is 20. So I'm going to say R equals 20 divided by the previous number, which is 4. And then I need to figure out how many R's we're going to use. So here to here, I would have to multiply this by an R. From here to here, I would have to multiply by an R. From here to here, I would have to multiply by an R. And then I would have to take this number times the R to get the 20. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 R's. All right, so then let's simplify this. So we get R to the 4th equals 20 divided by 4 is 5. Now to get rid of a 4th power, we're going to take the 4th root. That way those cancel. And so I'm going to get R equals, and then let's look at, if you guys want to know how to type this in, so if you have one of these calculators, if I want to type in the 4th root of 5, I need to tell the calculator that I'm going to use a 4th root. I'm going to hit second and then this exponent button. Make sure it has a little x. That's telling it the 4th root of 5. And I'm going to get my decimal. If you guys have a grapher, okay, you're going to hit math and you're going to use that button, okay? But again, you've got to tell it that you want a 4 there. So you'll say the 4th root of 5 and you'll get that same answer. So let's say HRW will tell you how to round. Let's say we just round to the 10th and we say 1.5. Okay, so now we can write our explicit rule. So our explicit rule is going to be f of n equals, but we don't know what our first term is. Well, if they are multiplying by 1.5, let's divide this by 1.5. Okay, so let's take our 4 and divide it by 1.5 so that we get that first term is 2 2/3. If you guys don't know that, all right, let's look. Let me show you here. 4 divided by 1.5. Oh, I typed 4.5. Okay, so there's 2.666667. I can hit, and I can get 2 2/3. Those of you that have a grapher like this, you would say math, fraction, enter, enter. 8/3 is the same as 2 2/3. Okay. So this is going to be 2 2/3 times our 1.5 to the n minus 1. Okay. Let's do one more example. All right, on this example, we're going to write the explicit rule if the 4th term is 22 and the 7th term is 0.022. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.022. So let's find our r. So we're going to say r equals this term divided by its previous, so 0.022. And we're going to divide that by 22. Okay, so grab your calculators, 0.022 divided by 22. I get that the r is going to simplify to 0.001. But remember, we need to figure out how many r's we're going to use. So from here to here, I would have to multiply by an r. From this term, I would have to multiply it by an r to get the next term. And from here to here, I would have to multiply by an r. So there's 1, 2, 3 r's. So to figure out the r, to get rid of a cube, I'm going to cube root it. And I'm going to cube root this side. That way the cube and the cube root cancels. So again, you're going to grab your calculator. Graphers, they can just hit math, and they've got, oh, sweet mother of Mary. Okay, they can hit math. I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. Hit the cube root, and they can type in 0.001. Okay, so I get just 1/10. Those of you that have this calculator, if you're going to type in a cube root, you're going to tell your calculator 3, and then you're going to hit second, and then your exponent. So it's saying the cube root of 0.001, and you get 1/10 as well. Okay, so we need to figure out what the first term is. So if they're multiplying by r this way, and I need to get back here, we're going to need to divide. So we're going to go this way, and we're going to divide by 0.1. And then we're going to keep doing that till we get that first term. Okay, so I'm going to take 22, and I'm going to divide it by 0.1, and I'm going to get 220. Okay, then I'm going to divide that by 0.1, and I'm going to get 2200. Ooh, that looks really bad, I'm sorry. And then you're going to take that and you're going to divide it by 0.1, and you're going to get 22,000. That looks really bad. Okay, so we're going to say f of n equals 22,000 times our ratio to the n minus 1 for n's greater than or equal to 1.